session for you here on EBN Weekend or the Prime Edition. Let's take a look on the day's top stories.
Gari ndogo ilikuwa iko pande ile nyingine. Sasa kwa dakika kidogo tu tumestuka tu gari kuja pande huu. Hiyo ndio ile matokeo yametokea.
Tumeteseka kwa nje tangu asubuhi tunapiga nduru.
A total of 12 victims of which one was brought in dead.
Tonight on EBN Prime Edition, 4-year-old child dies and 6 others injured following a road accident that occurred at Semet area along the Kaplong-Bomet highway.
Tukienda kwa mikutano sisi ni kama watu wa mkono, wanatuambianga tu omba, alafu wanapiga siasa tukiwa hapo. Hiyo wakati umeisha.
Kuhubiri ni mwito, si ati ni kusoma. Kuhubiri ni mwito, na hata yule ambaye hajasoma anatabiri na watu wanapona.
Si 2027 inafika. Sasa ndio mtakuja kanisani tuwaombee, mtakuja kanisani mkue wazuri. Sasa ile tumewaweka pale tena mnatugeuka.
Church leaders reject proposed religious organizations bill 2024 which seeks to regulate the operations of churches across the country.
Kwa sababu tumesema toka nje tusungumuze kama serikali, mtuambie huu msitu ambao huko gazetted mpaka saa hii, this are gazetted forest, ni siku gani huu msitu ulikuja ukawa wenu? Na uchumbe wale wako pale ndani na wako na bunduki, rudisha hiyo bunduki haraka sana kabla hatujaanza kusanya hizo bunduki.
Government issues 5-day ultimatum to individuals claiming ownership of forest land in parts of Trans Nzoia County to vacate the disputed areas immediately. The Sunshine Development Tour East African Swing has announced an expanded calendar for its second season set to run from April 2026 to January 2027 as Tour intensifies efforts to grow professional golf in the region. Alright, you're live across a social media platform that is on Facebook, on YouTube, and you can as well send us your feedback through our SMS line that is 23059. My name is Macharia and EBN Prime Edition starts now. And President William Ruto delivered a nationwide New Year address at State House at Doet, calling on Kenyans to embrace 2026 as a year of opportunity and accountability and national transformation. And in his address, the President said he has never looked forward to a new year with the same anticipation as he does for 2026, citing the nation's achievements in 2025 and the solid foundations laid for future progress. President William Ruto highlighted key successes in social welfare, including the expansion of universal health care. Over 29 million Kenyans are now registered under the Social Health Authority, that is SHA, with thousands benefiting from specialized treatment fully covered by the program. Now, despite these gains, President William Ruto acknowledged ongoing challenges, including poverty, unemployment, and youth vulnerability to drugs and alcohol. Now, he revealed that nearly 4 in every 10 Kenyans still live beyond or below the poverty line, and over 4.7 million people aged 15 to 65 are affected by substance abuse. Now, let's listen in on what he had to say.
Demanded sacrifice and called for unity. As president, I am proud to say that together we rose to the occasion. When I addressed the nation at a time like this last year, I outlined the decisive measures we had taken in 2023 and 2024, not only to stabilize our economy, but also to begin turning it around. I said then that 2025 would be the year when we would start earning the dividends of the hard work we had undertaken together since 2023. And indeed, looking back, this has been the year in which our deliberate choices, sometimes difficult and often demanding, began to pay off. For the first time in a long while, Kenya is not guessing. We are not drifting. We are not gambling. We have set our targets. We have begun the journey. And we now have a clear roadmap to make 2026 a defining year in Kenya's history. Tonight, fellow citizens, this is not just a customary New Year address. It is a moment that calls on all of us to seize the opportunity before us, to walk together as one people, and to complete a journey that has been delayed for far too long.
Right, that was the head of state just some few minutes ago at around 8 p.m. was actually addressing the nations in regards to the new year. All right, now moving on to some sad story now. 4-year-old child has died following a road accident that occurred at Soimet area along the Kaplong-Bomet highway. The crash involved a bus belonging to Takmi Coach Company in a Toyota Wish saloon car. According to police and eyewitnesses' accounts, the bus was traveling towards Mombasa while the Toyota Wish was heading to Kaplong when the collision occurred. Witnesses at the scene alleged that the bus was being driven at high speed at the time of the accident. Now, as a result of the crash, 6 other people sustained injuries of varying degrees and were rushed to St. Clair's Hospital in Kaplong, where they are currently receiving treatment.
Naelekea Mombasa. Sasa hii ajali ilikuwa na overtake pale na gari ndogo ilikuwa iko pande ile nyingine. Sasa kwa dakika kidogo tu tumeshtuka tu gari kuja pande huu. Hiyo ndio ile matokeo yametokea.
Tumeteseka kwa nchi tangu asubuhi tunapiga nduru. Hii ni accident mara ya 3. Na tumeomba nini serikali atuwekee pumps. Hapa hivi tunaomba tu county government atuwekee pumps. Hapo ndio tutakuwa sawa.
We received a total of 12 victims, of which one was brought in dead, a child of less than 10 years. A total of 6 females who are stable in condition. One currently is in rehab or in theater for a major surgery. The 4 males we receive are all in stable condition, and 1 child.
Right, moving on, church leaders under the umbrella of the Evangelical Alliance of Kenya have declared their readiness to oppose the proposed Religious Organization Bill of 2024, which seeks to regulate the operations of churches across the country. Now, speaking to the press in Kisii Town just hours before Kenyans usher in New Year, EAK Chairman Charles Isaboke said the proposed legislation amounts to unnecessary state interference in matters of faith. He maintained that churches already have adequate internal mechanisms to regulate themselves without the government control. Isaboke noted that the umbrella bodies such as the Evangelical Alliance of Kenya, that is the EAK, and the Christian Churches Association of Kenya, that is CCAK, the Evangelical Episcopal Churches, that is the EAK, and the National Council of Churches of Kenya, that is NCCK, have established structures and standards that guide church operations and leadership. Now, on this issue of minimum education requirements for church leaders, Isaboke argued that spiritual calling and leadership cannot be measured solely through academic certificates.
Tukienda kwa mikutano sisi ni kama watu wa mkono, wanatuambianga tu omba, alafu wanapiga siasa tukiwa hapo. Hiyo wakati umeisha, wakati wa kutumia wachungaji na kanisa imeisha. Si 2027 inafika, sasa ndio mtakuja kanisani tuwaombee, mtakuja kanisani mkue wazuri. Sasa ile tumewaweka pale tena mnatugeuka, na sisi sasa tunawageuka, tunasema hiyo bill haitakubalika Kenya. Avatari pelekwe nchi nyingine, lakini sio Kenya. Watu achie hiyo jukumu kama kanisa. Sisi tunaweza kufanya hiyo regulation, sisi kama kanisa tunaweza kujua wachungaji wazuri na wabaya. Sisi ndio tunatakana kupeana ripoti kwa serikali.
Kuhubiri ni mwito, si ati ni kusoma. Kuhubiri ni mwito, na hata yule ambaye hajasoma anatabiri na watu wanapona, watu wanaokoka, dunia inabadilishwa. Sasa ukiweka sheria ya kwamba mtu asome, awe sijui na degree, awe na vitu gani, sasa hiyo itasaidia nini? Kwa hivyo tunaomba kwamba our president, this thing inakuja kukumaliza. Tupa mbali, ita wa Kristo waseme vile wanataka kuregulate themselves. Si ati wawe regulated na watu hata wengine si wa Kristo, hata hawajui Kristo ni nini.
Kwa hivyo tuangalie kwamba tusingilie masuala ya imani, tuangalie tumie viongozi waliopo vile ambavyo wenzangu wamesema, ili ya kwamba tuwe na amani nchini Kenya tusiitilafiane, kwa sababu sisi wa Kristo tunaamini, tunamtii Kristo, na jambo lolote ambalo litakwenda kinyume na Kristo wetu, sisi tutabaki kuamua kuwa na Kristo. Afadhali tutupe kwenye tundu la simba ama kwenye moto kuliko kuinamia mwanadamu.
Right, moving on, the government has issued a 5-day ultimatum to individuals claiming ownership of forest land in parts of Trans Nzoia County to vacate the disputed areas immediately. Now, the affected areas include Mukunga, Smith, Rest, Teldet, Triangle Forest, and the Agricultural Development Corporation, that is, and the Jabata Farm. Authorities say the directive is intended to create room for dialogue and pave the way for an amicable and lasting resolution to a land dispute that has persisted for many years. Now, speaking during a public participation forum held in Gitomba area, Trans Nzoia County Commissioner Gideon Oyagi said the move will allow stakeholders to engage in meaningful consultations aimed at ending the long-standing conflict over the contested land. Oyagi issued a stern warning to individuals in possession of illegal firearms allegedly acquired under the pretext of protecting the disputed land. They ordered them to surrender the weapons immediately to security agencies, cautioning that anyone who defies the directive will face tough legal action.
Kwa sababu tumesema toka nje, tuzungumuze kama serikali, mtuambie huu msitu ambao huko gazetted mpaka saa hii, this are gazetted forest, ni siku gani huu msitu ulikuja ukawa wenu? Tunataka tuongee tukiwa nje ili wananchi wasipigane wakiwa pale. Na uchumbe wale wako pale ndani na wako na bunduki, rudisha hiyo bunduki haraka sana, kabla hatujaanza kusanya hizo bunduki.
Kama shirika la Kenya Forest, tusaidiana na nyinyi na serikali kwa jumla kuchunga zile areas zimeambiwa ni msitu. Kwa hivyo mtanipatia heshima mzuri sana kama mtafuata mwelekeo wa serikali kama vile tumeelekezwa na county commissioner wetu.
Hawa wazee Spring Council, mkiwa na nyumba zote za jamii ya Sabot, muende huko msituni muongelesha watoto wetu waache mambo ambao wanafanya. Ni kweli ama si kweli? Kwa sababu huyu county commissioner ni mzuri sana na timu yake ya security. Leo hangekuja kuongea na nyinyi, angeingia huko ndani hadi na wahalifu.
Alright, now let's talk matters politics. And Kiharu Member of Parliament Ndindi Nyoro has called on the current government and the Kenya Kwanza Brigade to show respect to the retired leaders, warning against political attacks targeting former heads of state. Now, speaking to the media, Nyoro emphasized the importance of conducting politics responsibly without undermining or disrespecting senior statesmen. Now, he stressed that leadership should prioritize service to the people rather than personal or partisan interests.
The other last thing I want to highlight, I was part of the last Times campaign when there was an obsession of every rally attacking other leaders, and especially the former President Uhuru Kenyatta. Now, the team we were campaigning for won. What more business do we have every rally to be dragging the name of a retired president in our political verbosity? I mean, we are Kenyans. I was part of that team. I was younger, probably I could do things differently now. President Uhuru Kenyatta was president last term. And me, because I don't want to run from responsibility, we were supporting the arm of the then deputy president, who is the current president. And I don't think we are proud of the kind of altercations that were there between the president and the deputy president then. Because we need to play our politics differently as Kenyans. Now that is repeating itself. That even when he has left office, we find it convenient, and the politicians find it convenient, when they want to increase school fees from January, they want to blame it on Uhuru Kenyatta. When the weather is bad, they want to blame it on Uhuru Kenyatta. When we are borrowing 4 billion a day, we want to blame it on President Uhuru Kenyatta. My friends, You are now in the reins of power. Can we stop this grandstanding? Let us respect our leaders. Uhuru Kenyatta deserves respect. He did what he did for Kenyans. Now, because those who have an opportunity have it, what business is there every rally to be besmirching the name of a retired president? Every leader who is currently serving is a future former leader.
Right, moving on, as Kenyans usher in the new year, youths have been urged to actively participate in leadership and life-enhancing activities while steering clear of drugs and other practices that could jeopardize their future. Now, speaking on behalf of the party, its leader, Dr. Augustus Modi, emphasized the importance of credible elections, noting that a trustworthy process is key to restoring public confidence in electoral commissions following controversies surrounding recent by-elections. Dr. Modi also revealed that his party is forming a powerful three-party coalition aimed at challenging government politicians while criticizing major political parties for attempting to suppress smaller parties.
As a leader of National Liberal Party, I want to speak from that perspective. As a party leader, I am not happy with their performance. According to me, their performance is way below what we were expecting. There was clear cases of violence, intimidation, bribery, manipulation. Of course, we saw at one point the IBC standing up and giving fines, but we needed more than that. This was a time for them to show that they have muscle to really control a major election that's coming up in 2027. But they let the entire community down. They let Kenyans down. And now, as a community, we are worried. If this trend continues, how sure are we that we are going to have a free and fair election in 2027? They cannot guarantee us that.
All right, moving on, the leadership of Kikonyokie Community Trust has cautioned politicians against interfering in the ongoing subdivision of the contested 2,800-acre Kibiko land, which has been at the center of long-standing disputes over ownership and demarcation. The warning was issued following a meeting between two rival factions involved in the land dispute as tensions continue to simmer in the area. Now, the trust reaffirmed its commitment to proceed with the subdivision process, insisting that the exercise will be conducted fairly and transparently to ensure that all legitimate members receive their rightful share. Officials of the trust emphasized that no individual or group will be disadvantaged during the subdivision, noting that the process aims to resolve years of conflict surrounding the land and bring lasting peace to the community. Meanwhile, police in Kajiado County have suspended further public meetings in the area to allow the subdivision exercise to proceed without disruption. Security agencies say the move is intended to prevent incitement and maintain calm even as tensions remain high on the ground.
Kikonyokie Community Trust affirms that beaconing will continue as scheduled. No person shall be forcibly relocated or evicted, and subdivision shall be undertaken strictly in accordance with the Kenyan law.
Sisi leo watu wa Kikonyokie, watu wa Kibiko tumekuwa kitu moja. Tumekuwa kitu moja. Tumeshikana. Hii ilikuwa tu uchochezi, na kama sasa tumekuja into our senses, bas.
Governor, kuja polepole. Wacha mambo ya fujo. Kaa polepole. Heshimu serikali. Utuheshimu.
Right, moving on, residents of Isiolo town on Wednesday staged a protest outside the Kulamawe police station, accusing security officers of inaction amid rising cases of crime in the area. The demonstrators took to the streets following the killing of a 27-year-old man who was shot dead by unknown assailants. The incident has heightened fear and anger among residents who say insecurity has become a growing concern in the town. Now, speaking to the media during the protest, residents faulted officers at Kulamawe police station for failing to address the escalating crime, alleging slow or ineffective response to repeated security incidences. They claimed that criminals continue to operate with impunity, putting the lives of residents at risk. Now, the protesters demanded justice for the slain young man and called on authorities to launch their investigations into the killings.
Mimi niko na machungu sana kwa kupoteza kijana mdogo sana wa stage yangu. Rais CS Duale, tunataka mambo mchukulie na si vile mnachukulia kimchezo. Tunataka tuchukulie serious. Hako na haki Kenya hii kama wa Kenya wengine.
Bana,
wako na haki kama Wakenya wengi. Yangu mimi sina mengi, yangu nikwambia rais, tulikupigia kura 2022, tuliamka asubuhi tukakupatia. Sijui kazi yake ni nini? Murkomen, kazi yako tujiona kabisa. Isiolo kila mahali ukisikia mali inaenda. Kuna kijana mmoja juzi alipigwa risasi na mbuzi imeenda. Ako na alama paka sasa bado hajapona. Hajafuatiliwa. Sasa ndio huyu kijana wetu wa stage moja ampigwa risasi na amefariki. Na huyo kijana ingali ni yeye peke yake ndio kwa mamake. Watu wote maaskari wote rishavo kuanzia OCS kuanzia constable wote chini rishavo. Si wataka maaskari wengine wageni. Mambo yetu iwe sawa. Sisi tumechoka, enough is enough.
Sisi kama vijana wa Bula Pesa tunasikia uchungu sana kupoteza mmoja wetu kwa sababu hatuna security. Tuko na kambi hapo, kambi ya juu, lakini wote ni madoanzi wamelalisha. Wamelalisha sana kila siku, lakini wamama tei wakipika tei wanakamatwa return kila siku. Lakini sasa tukisikia jamaa amekufa hakuna justice, hawezi ongea. Jamaa ameulwa mbele yao, hawaongei. Si unataka uchukulie mambo seriously. Sisi kama Gen Z, kama youth, hakuna mtu anatuchukulia serious. Tunaumizwa, tunanyanyazwa. Mbona? Na kuna haki. Jamaa yetu moja Tezi, kijana mdogo wa 27 years, ana tamkidi.
Mdogo sana.
Na amendengo ameenda hivyo. Ni mdogo sana. Lakini masansi wakisikia mandenga hawezi tokea. Na wako na zao. Hawezi response hata moja. Ni kungora tu, kutungora sisi wa vijana, kukimbizana na sisi. Madebe tu hapo hivyo, mama changiliwa wakitokea, majamaa wa ndom ni kufuatwa, lakini waizi fatwa. Mbona? Hiyo siku yote, sasa ni siku ngapi? Siku 3 ama 4 imepita. Jamaa hiyo wangoje fatwa. Sasa tumekuja kulilia justice. 1 hour, 30 minutes, jamaa kuwa chini. Amelazwa kwa kaburi ya gun. Na hakuna gari imefika. Hakuna gari imefika. Sisi wenyewe ndo tulichukua haki. Mimi nataka gava ichukue hivi, mimi nadai gava ifanye hivi. Ichukulie mambo seriously. Sisi tunataka wenyewe waliwateze watokezwe.
Ni ile tunaita ya kwamba ni a very big criminal offense. Manda, si ndio? Na hii uchukua muda kufanya uchunguzi. Huwezi niambia mtu leo auawe na tuanze kuchunguza leo na apelekwe kotini kesho. Haijawahi fanyika hivyo. Ndisi yao kwa hapa atatuambia. Lakini mpaka tutafute pieces zozote za ushahidi. Sawa sawa. Labda kuna mambo yamefanyika na si lazima muyajue. Kuna mambo yamefanyika mimi najua. Na hayo mnawaachia serikali. Kuna yale mengine kama hii washahidi. Ninajua sasa kuanzia sasa tutaenda mbele pamoja.
Alright, moving on, Kakamega Governor Fernandes Baraza has reiterated his commitment to supporting President William Ruto, saying that former ODM party leader Raila Odinga left them in a broad-based government that aligns with the current administration. Now speaking in Kakamega, Governor Baraza emphasized that his team will continue to back the head of state even as the country prepares for the 2027 general elections. He highlighted the importance of maintaining unity and collaboration within the coalition, assuring voters that their support for President William Ruto remains steadfast. The governor's remarks comes amid growing political maneuvering ahead of the next general elections, with various parties and leaders positioning themselves for influence and alliances.
Sisi kama viongozi wa chama cha ODM tunaunga mkono mazungumzo ambayo inaendelea hivi sasa. Mazungumzo ambayo yatatupatia coalition na chama cha UDA. Najua tuko na tofauti na viongozi wengine ambao wanataka tufanye kazi bila kuwa na structure. I want to support the position of my party leader, Dr. Oburu, kuanzisha mazungumzo na Daktari William Samuel Ruto ili ikifika mwaka wa 2027 chama cha ODM kitaungana na chama cha UDA ili tutengeneze serikali ya 2027. We must work together. Tukiunga Rais William Samuel Ruto in 2027, itakuwa rahisi kwa Mluya kuwa president in 2032. We are very clear with regard to our political direction, na tuko nyuma ya Daktari William Samuel Ruto ili tutengeneze coalition ya UDA na ODM kwa kumaliza mambo ya kuleta siasa ya ufitina na pia siasa ambayo itatuweza kupeleka serikali yetu nyuma. We must work together ili tulete uwiano. Raila Amolo Odinga alikufa akituacha kwa broad based, na yeye alikuwa na azimio la kuunganisha Wakenya wote.
Right, now let's get sporty. And White Captives FC and Kamlembe Queens emerged as champions of the second edition of the Chomoka and Ndume Cup, which was held at Shiro Grounds in Hamisi constituency, Vihiga County. In the men's final, White Captives FC edged out host Shiro FC 6-4 on penalties after a tightly contested match ended in a draw following 90 minutes of regular time and 30 minutes of extra time. Now, the thrilling encounter kept fans on their feet as both sides displayed strong determination before White Captives sealed victory from the spot. Now, on the women's side, Kamlembe Queens dominated their final against Shaviranga FC, registering a convincing 2-0 win to clinch the title. Organizers said the tournament was aimed at nurturing grassroots talent while also creating awareness among the youth and on the dangers of drug abuse and consumption of illicit alcohol. The winning teams were awarded 50,000 Kenya shillings in cash, along with a bull and a goat as part of the New Year celebrations, underscoring the community-driven spirit of the competition.
We are here to make sure that the young people can be engaged in terms of crime, in terms of alcohol, and then we encourage them that there is income-generating activity.
Tuliamua kuleta hii michezo huku mashinani ili tuweze kutap talent ya wale wenye wanaweza kufanikiwa kusonga mbele na hii michezo. Ni vizuri tusaidie vijana wetu. Vijana, mnaona kuna timu za vijana na wasichana waweze kukuza talanta zao ili waweze kujiunga na timu za kitaifa kama Harambee Stars ama waingie kwa Premier League.
We are here to just support a few boys who we can try and get to teams and get for trials. I think it's very important for our youth to be engaged, especially at this time of the season, because there are some very bad vices around, and we believe that through sports, I think most of these youths are going to avoid these vices.
Right, moving on, the Sunshine Development Tour East African Swing has announced an expanded calendar for its second season, set to run from April 2026 to January 2027, as the tour intensifies efforts to grow professional golf in the region. Season 2 will feature 14 events across East Africa, building on the success of the inaugural season. Now, the tour will continue to provide professional and elite amateur golfers of both genders with consistent competitive tournaments recognized by the official World Golf Ranking and the World Amateur Golf Ranking. Now, the season will tee off with the qualifying school at Vika Greens Golf Resort, that is in April 2026. Now, the top 10 finishers will earn invitations to the Sunshine Tour final stage qualifiers in South Africa. The tour will then move to Vika Sports Club for its first ever SDTEAS event from April 19th to April 21st. Now, before heading to Nairobi and for back-to-back tournaments at Royal Nairobi Golf Club from June 7th to June 9th and the Vet Sports Club from June 14th to June 16th, the season will culminate in the two finals, the SDT finale which will be held in Sigona Golf Club from February 5th to 7th of 2027. Right, moving on, Mali ladies emerged victorious over defending champions Kimangeti Queens, edging them 1-0 in a thrilling women's final at the 7th edition of the Karamoja Super Cup at Summit Grounds in Malava. Marion Chambisa scored the lone goal midway through the second half, calmly rounding the goalkeeper to slot the ball into an empty net, securing the title for Mali ladies, who had previously won the crown in 2023. Now, Captain Angeline Anyango praised the team's resilience, noting that guidance from their coach during halftime helped turn the game in their favor. Now, the champions took home 300,000 Kenya shillings, with the runners-up Kimangeti's Queen earning 150,000 Kenya shillings, while Musungu Queens received 100,000 Kenya shillings. Tournament organizer Bramwell Karamoja highlighted the rapid growth of the event.
Saizi tuko kwa the 7th edition, yani 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. It's been a long journey since we started. Tulianza na teams chache sana. We started with about 8 teams. It grew up to about 16 to 32 to 64. So sasa kwa the 7th edition tunaongelea a total number of about 150 teams, both men and women. So I think it's a very big achievement considering we started small, now we are here. Kumekuwa na challenges, but of course we keep the positives. If you look at the impact ile ito imekuwa nayo kwa community, in terms of the business community, unaangalia kuna watu wanakuja hapa kuuza githeri, kuna watu wanakuja kuuza mandazi, kuna watu wanakuja kuuza mayai pasua. So imekuwa na a very big impact on the community. Watu wale wanakuja kufanya biashara hapa wanafaidika sana, and I think it's something that people always look forward to every year. Nikiulizaga watu wangu ku story ya Merry Christmas, wananiambia this is the only Christmas that they always look forward to. So I want to thank everyone that has always been there, always been supportive in terms of fun attendance, in terms of our partners, and a special big up to my main partners ambao wamekuwa ni Betika through their Betika na community initiative. Wamekuwa kikit teams across Kakamega County from the 1st edition mpaka sasa to the 7th edition. All the teams zile zimekuwa qualify kwa the group stages, wamekuwa kitted. So I want to give a big round of applause to our main partners ambao ni Betika through their Betika na community. Tournament yenyewe inaitwa Karamoja Super Cup by Betika. So there's no Karamoja Super Cup without Betika. So thank you very much for everything that has been there. Kumekuwa na achievements pia on and off the pitch. Apart from the business community, kumekuwa na a number of players wale wamekuwa scouted, talented players wale ambao wame manage kuingia kwa Kenyan Premier League teams, NSL team.
Right, that brings us to the close of our final news bulletin for 2025. And what a year it has been, filled with challenges, milestones, triumphs, and lessons that have shaped our communities and our nation. We thank you, our loyal viewers and listeners, for trusting us to bring you the stories that matter, to keep you informed, and to shine a light on the issues affecting your lives. As we stand at the threshold of a new year, let's embrace hope, courage, and unity, and let us carry forward the lessons learned, strengthen the bonds that bring us together, and strive for a year of progress, peace, and prosperity for all. Now, from everyone here at EBN Television, we wish you, your family, and your loved ones a joyful, safe, and prosperous new year. May 2026 be a year of health, happiness, and new opportunities. My name is Macharia. I've been watching EBN Prime Edition. Of course, on behalf of the entire team that made this particular broadcast a success, we say asante sana, and of course, do have yourself a good night and happy 2026. And of course, let's do this again when God says we do.